Imagine, if you will, and you're going to have to imagine it because it would never take place. Imagine, if you will, the Harris Walz campaign attending a sacred ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery and bringing in tow cameramen and videographers to document it for campaign purposes. And someone who honorably and tirelessly works at Arlington National Cemetery telling them, no, this is inappropriate, it's against the law. And then those people who work for the Harris Walz campaign assaulting someone, berating someone, and filming anyway. It's impossible to imagine because it would not happen. And even if it did, we would see op-eds in the New York Times. We would see write-ups in corporate media about they need to apologize. And they would platform all of these weeping crocodile tears Republicans about the dishonor that was brought upon Arlington National Cemetery by this Democratic campaign. Again, you'll never hear this or see this because it would not happen. Only in Trump world do they wave around their flags with their fake patriotism and act like they love and support the troops while secretly behind closed doors calling them losers and suckers, not wanting gravely disabled, disfigured in some cases veterans, wounds suffered from combat, not wanting them public facing because people don't want to see that. All things Donald Trump has said. And this is what happened at Arlington National Cemetery the other day when Donald Trump did a wreath laying ceremony. Why would they allow Donald Trump to participate in such a sacred ceremony? Yeah, I guess it's a question for another day, but it's gross. It is disgusting to let the cult leader, the dear leader, onto the grounds, the hallowed grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. NPR described this, and it is telling that the Trump camp will provide the video evidence and then crickets when it's asked for. Here's the headline from NPR. Trump campaign staff had altercation with official at Arlington National Cemetery. Two members of Donald Trump's campaign staff had a verbal and physical altercation Monday with an official at Arlington National Cemetery, where the former president participated in a wreath-laying ceremony, NPR has learned. A source with knowledge of the incident said the cemetery official tried to prevent Trump staffers from filming and photographing in a section where recent U.S. casualties are buried. The source said Arlington officials had made clear that only cemetery staff members would be authorized to take photographs or film in the area known as Section 60. When the cemetery official tried to prevent Trump campaign staff from entering Section 60, campaign staff verbally abused and pushed the official aside, according to the source. Now look, there's more here, and I'm going to read it. The people who work at Arlington, they know they have a sacred role. They know the thing that they are memorializing. They know full well the sacrifices that were endured to get there, to be buried there. They know. So this wasn't some egomaniac who's trying to push his or her weight around. This is someone who's doing their job, trying to honor the dead, trying to honor the sacrifice of the dead. But for the campaign of the guy who thinks these people are losers and suckers, they don't care. Could the choice be more clear this election day? Trump participated in an event to mark the third anniversary of a deadly attack on U.S. troops in Afghanistan as U.S. forces withdrew from the country. You see, Donald Trump wants to make this a political moment because he's criticized Joe Biden for what was, a bungled exit. Donald Trump's not talking about the 5,000 Taliban soldiers and the leader of the Taliban that he allowed to be free. None of that is talked about. Just the thing that makes Donald Trump apparently feel like makes him look good. 13 U.S. service members were killed in the attack. The Trump campaign has blamed President Biden and Vice President Harris, now the Democratic presidential nominee, for the chaotic withdrawal. In a statement to NPR, Stephen Chung, the Trump campaign spokesman, strongly rejected the notion of a physical altercation, adding, quote, "We are prepared to release footage if such defamatory claims are made." Well, I'm making the defamatory claim, Stephen Chung. Show us the video. Show us the video footage that you took that you're not legally allowed to take. You just admitted you took video footage, dipshit. The fact is, says Stephen Chung, that a private photographer was permitted on the premises, and for whatever reason, an unnamed individual clearly suffering from a mental health episode decided to physically block members of President Trump's team during a very solemn ceremony, Chung said in a statement. The Trump campaign declined to make that footage immediately available. One more time for the MAGAs in the back of the room, the Trump campaign declined, even though Stephen Chung just said, if these defamatory claims are made, we will provide video evidence. And then when asked, all right, we'll provide the video evidence. Cricket, cricket, cricket. Two more paragraphs. In a statement to NPR, Arlington National Cemetery said it can confirm there was an incident and a report was filed. They don't say whether it was a police report, just a report. And then finally, quote, federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within Arlington National Military Cemeteries to include photographers, content creators, or any other persons attending for purposes or in direct support of a partisan political candidate's campaign, according to the statement. Arlington National Cemetery reinforced and widely shared this law and its prohibitions with all participants. But it didn't fucking matter because Donald Trump respects neither the law nor the sacrifice of those men and women who are buried at National Cemetery in Arlington. And he wants to be commander-in-chief once again. Commander-in-chief of an army and a military and a Marine Corps and of an Air Force and a Navy, a Coast Guard filled with potential losers and suckers, according to him. And there's a wide swath of veterans that clamor for his candidacy, ignoring the lack of patriotism. Not even lack of patriotism, it's the opposite. Whatever the opposite of patriotism is, it's not just a lack of it. That's like neutral. It's the other way around. He is not he is anti-patriotic. He is anti-constitutional. He is anti-democracy. And he puts a team around him that are just sycophants and yes men who will violate the honor of sacred ceremonies for their dear leader. Fucking gross. As a former United States Marine, it makes me want to be very angry. Be very angry. What do you think? Are you a veteran? Are you connected to a veteran? Are you connected to someone who died in combat, who was gravely injured in combat? Your opinion matters. You can leave a comment below. That would be great. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always, daily@dollemore.com. If you appreciate what I do, the manner with which I do it, the message, and you want to help support this work, help me produce these videos, click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month. Go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'd appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.